Welcome to Campfire Wisdom. Grab a seat around the fire and tell us your story.
Welcome back to Campfire Wisdom. For those of you who know me or have come to know me over the years through this podcast or just in general, you know that family is important to me. Friends are important to me. I pride myself on being a good friend and being a good sibling. So I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, and between all of us we have a total of, I have 14 nieces and nephews. So I have 2 kids. That's 16 grandkids from my parents. That's a lot. So the Stutzy family is strong. About 3 years ago, my niece Ava was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is a type of inflammatory bowel disease that causes swelling and irritation of the tissues in the digestive tract. This can lead to belly pain, severe diarrhea, fatigue, weight loss, and malnutrition. On March 29th, so about a month from now, I'm going to be in Tucson, and I will be participating in the Tucson Take Steps to benefit the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
The Take Steps Walk, which is the largest, most impactful fundraiser, inspires me to share so that I can help others who suffer from IBD and bring awareness to my local community. No matter where you are in your journey, you are not alone. Together we find a cure. Thank you for honoring me today, and thank you for being here.
Obviously, I want to support my niece and do all I can to try to help out. And I figured the best way I could do that is to try to have a giveaway here. So I'm going to be giving away a Yeti Rambler in their new color, Firefly. Brand new, you can see it is the exact same bottle that I use here. Highly recommended. It's got the chug cap. I feel like I'm doing a product demo here. Got the wide thing if you want to add tons of ice and all that stuff, but this is pretty much the dopest canteen that I found. And shout out to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law for hooking me up with this on my birthday, because I love it. Also, I've been spending a lot of time talking about mini mag light. This is mine, but I'm going to buy someone a super dope mini mag light. Obviously, this is a great product and comes right out of Ontario, California. So hey, SoCal product here. And last but not least, I haven't talked much about this, but this is my favorite new addition to camping and using the campfire. This is Rocky Mountain Goods fire tongs. And obviously, I've always preferred, I just would grab a stick and move the fire around, right? Sometimes grab a log with my hands, but when you got kids around, it's just not as cool. You need to obviously have some proper tools to do that. So this thing is so simple, right? You can control it with one hand, and my son even can play with this thing. So he's actually helped me out with the chimenea. Last time we went camping, I think he was using this just to collect stuff, but this thing is fantastic. So Rocky Mountain Goods fire tongs. So I'm going to be raffling these 3 items away, and how it's going to work is every $5 that you donate on the Crohn's and Colitis site for the Tucson Take Steps event, you will get an entry into the contest. And obviously, the more entries the more you donate, the more you support me, the more entries you're going to get. And then shortly thereafter, so the event's on the 29th of March, probably about a week or so after that, I'll do the raffle, just so you guys know kind of a little time frame. So you can help me support this great cause and also get yourself hooked up with some great camping gear at the same time. So if that's something you want to do and take advantage of, I will have everything linked down below. I gotta tell you guys a crazy story, and it's ongoing, right? It's going on right now. So the new Captain America is out, right? And there's commercials all over TV, on the internet, right? Sometimes if you're on YouTube, you're seeing commercials for it. And part of that has a brief little portion, right, where it has the Red Hulk. And I don't even know the character's name. All I know is it's a guy that looks like the Hulk and he's red. My son is terrified of the Red Hulk. Terrified. he doesn't want to be in the room. If he thinks there's going to be a commercial on, he's just mortified. And it's gotten to the point where they're like, if we're going to be watching TV or whatnot, he'll say something like, Dad, I'm not thinking about the Red Hulk, which tells me you've been thinking about the Red Hulk for a long time. It's crazy. Even actually a few days ago, it had been a while since he mentioned it. We probably just hadn't watched TV for a few days, but I don't even remember where we were, but he just looked at me and said, Dad, I'm not thinking about the Red Hulk. And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad. And the reason why it sucks is because I don't know how to help him. And we were just at Walmart today, and they had a section for Captain America, and I was walking by it, and I was like, uh-oh, it's going to trigger him. Sure enough, it triggered him. He was kind of guarded. And we would turn on the corner, and there was a stuffy, so it's like a little stuffed animal of the Red Hulk, like this big, not really even a scary face on it. And he walked around, and he was like, and I was like, oh, buddy. And I was trying to like say, what's going on? He's like, I was like, this is a stuffed animal, buddy. It can't hurt you. I was trying to tell him. He's like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I was like, oh gosh. So it's super frustrating. I don't know if any of you guys have ever dealt with a situation like that where the kid is like so scared and you just want to help him, you know? It sucks. It reminded me of a story. So one time when I was a kid, my older brother had some friends over and they were watching Nightmare on Elm Street 2, right? And my brother Chris, he was 4 years older than me, so I don't even remember who his friends were, but he's like, no, you can't watch this, you're gonna get scared. And I was like, no, I'm not. So I'm in the room with him and his friends, and I remember the scene to this day, so that tells me obviously it fucked me up, right? It scarred me. But Freddy Krueger, obviously, for those of you who haven't watched the movies, he attacks you in your dreams, right? So don't fall asleep because he'll kill you. So this kid fell asleep in his room, and Freddy Krueger's coming after him like very slowly and methodically, and he's locked in his room. He's pounding on the door, help me, help me. And his dad is on the other side, and his dad can't help him. He's like, son, he's like trying to get the door. He's trying to kick the door down, but Freddy ultimately kills the boy, right? And it fucked me up. I remember crying, and I remember my parents came out, and I had to be comforted by my parents, right? And my brother got in trouble for letting me watch it, all this kind of shit. So basically my brother called it, right? I was gonna be scared shitless and cry about it, but I'm 50 years old, and I was probably 7 or 8 at the time when that happened. I remember that exact scene from the movie. So I don't know what it is. I just wish I could help him. So I don't know if any of you guys have any insights that might help me, but I just thought I would share it with you. The state of Michigan is doing some really cool things with regard to like electrification. They are experimenting with electrifying of the road, right? So that your car would be charging inductively, right? Kind of like your iPhone. When you put your iPhone on a wireless charger or your Android on a G charger, right? It charges inductively, but essentially they put charging coils. It's about 4 inches, I think they said, 4 to 6 inches, I can't remember, but right below the surface. And while you're driving, your vehicle would charge. In this case, they are testing it out with like city vehicles and buses and stuff like that. But what a great concept, right? It's deep enough in the ground that like it's safe from like weather and stuff like that. If they have to repair the road or put another topping on it, they could shovel it off, put some more topping back on it. But the viability of that is something that's really interesting. And then obviously it's something that they're talking about that could be used for public transportation, could be used maybe down the road as some type of charging mechanism that could be used commercially, right? So anyways, I thought it was really cool to talk about. I know there's a lot of like pushback on EVs, and gosh, with the government going on right now and everything that Trump is doing, it just seems like there's a lot of people are kind of against the process of electrification, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, it's the way that we need to go because it's only logical, right? It's smarter, it's more efficient, I don't know, there's just so many people poo-pooing the idea. I just thought it was really great to see that this state is like taking it on and doing a pretty cool like being bold about it, right? That's something that no one's doing. No one's looking at inductive charging. So take a look at it and tell me what you think. So a lot of people have been asking me why I'm such a big fan of Rivian and why I'm not considering Tesla, why I didn't even have Tesla vehicles on my kind of EV spreadsheet I was working on. What are people calling Teslas these days? Swastikars, right? Swastikars? Wow, crazy. I guess in some ways, I recognize that they make a great car. They're efficient. They're pretty good looking. I don't like the Cybertruck. At first I did, but once I've seen it in person, I don't. But yeah, it just seems like right now a Tesla, even though they make a good car, it's like there's a lot of baggage with that right now, right? Like I wouldn't want that. There's so many people I know that are trying to get out of their Teslas that the prospect of actually trying to acquire one, it's not even something I want to do. It's just seems kind of gross. I can definitely separate an art from the artist. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, even though he obviously has some controversy around him. My wife hates him, doesn't want me to play him around the house, but yeah, I can separate the two. I grew up on Michael Jackson, so I love bumping his music. It just makes me feel good. I don't know if I'm a bad person for that, but yeah, I don't know. I love Michael Jackson. I can't quit him. I thought I would tell you a little bit about some of the things that speak to me about Rivian is what they call their compass values is come together, ask why, stay open, zoom out, and over deliver. One thing they had on their website, it's called Forever, and it's kind of long. I'm going to read it. Obviously, it's verbatim here, but I think it's important. So I think this kind of speaks to me, and I don't know if it'll speak to you, but forever. Over the past century, humanity has built a massive industrial complex that is rapidly changing the composition of our atmosphere, while simultaneously destroying the interlinked natural ecosystems critical for life on our planet. Our current way of life has been enabled by hundreds of millions of years of accumulated plant and animal-based carbon in the form of fossil fuels. On our current path, we will fully exhaust this stored energy in only a few more generations, and in the process, carbonize our atmosphere and damage natural ecosystems to such degree that life as we know it will not be possible. If our planet is to continue to sustain life and enchant future generations, we must change. I love that. Enchant future generations. Good. To build the kind of future our kids and our kids' kids deserve, extraordinary steps must be taken to stop the carbonization of our atmosphere and preserve our natural ecosystems. This requires individuals and entire industries to come together in ways we never have before to transition the world towards sustainable energy. To extend our impact beyond the products we make and the associated competition they hopefully inspire, we are establishing Forever. Its philanthropic mission is dedicated to addressing our planet's climate crisis and preserving the critical biodiversity needed for our planet's long-term survival. In conjunction with our IPO, we contributed 1% of Rivian's equity into Forever, providing it with a substantial and growing financial platform to focus on high-impact climate initiatives with an emphasis on preserving and restoring wildlands, waterways, and oceans. These natural landscapes and seascapes are powerful carbon sinks that pull carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, storing carbon in soil, grasses, trees, shrubs, coral reefs, and ocean floor sediments. By putting 1% of Rivian's equity into Forever, the natural world has become a stakeholder in our success. As our company's value grows by transitioning our customers to sustainable transportation solutions, so will the value of our impact and philanthropic giving, creating a virtuous cycle of impact. So they're going to keep doing this throughout the longevity of their company. I love that. Also critical to preserving the natural world is reducing our need to use the planet's land and resources through more sustainable and efficient consumption. On our current path, we will need multiple planets to support our ongoing global needs. With this, Forever will also include sustainable consumption initiatives and educational stewardship to help communities understand, appreciate, and learn how to preserve our planet's natural resources for future generations. We will engage our employees, community members, and like-minded partners as a way to maximize our collective impact. Our employees will have the opportunity to participate in community projects that improve the natural world and contribute to the mission of Forever. Just as we strive to make the outdoors accessible to all, we need to involve as much of the world as possible in the transition to a sustainable future. This is a critical moment where we must come together for the next generation. That is what we are trying to inspire, to keep the world adventurous forever. RJ. So, I know it sounds cliche, but when you find a company that speaks to you and then speaks your language and is doing something good, that's kind of why I'm like, man, this company, I hope it does well. I hope it succeeds. And actually, on that note, they had an earnings call on Thursday of last week, and they reported their first gross quarterly profit. So it was $170 million in the last quarter, so pretty awesome. But significant is it's their first gross quarterly profit. So it's the first time they've been profitable. And obviously as a business, when you start to make some money, that's a good thing. They haven't done that as of yet. And their total revenue was $1.73 billion, and Wall Street was expecting them to come in about 1.4, so they actually exceeded that. They are forecasting lower sales in 2025, but I mean, look what's going on. High interest rates. Maybe the EV tax credit is going away. Trump is just on a tear about anything electrified. Gosh, I think today there's an article, he shut down 8,000 EV chargers at like federal work sites. They're already built. They're already established. Already they're saving the government millions of dollars, and yet we want to get rid of them. It just it doesn't make any sense. There were some people poo-pooing the report, saying that like, oh, well, Rivian sold some of their regulatory credits and they're also doing software and services. I'm like, okay, every company sells their regulatory credits. I mean, Tesla did that for years. And is that a bad thing to be a software and services company? They did sign a joint venture with Volkswagen, right? So they're going to not only be creating cars, but also selling their software stack, right? That's fantastic. They're diversifying. That's a positive thing, right? I don't know. People are nuts. They got a loan from this government at the tail end of the Biden administration, and it's like a $6.6 billion loan to build a plant in Georgia. And I guess that loan is under scrutiny now. It's like everything that was done before Trump got in, he's like trying to destroy. It just, man, that guy is such a fucking douche. Besides this channel, I have a history channel. It's called 1 Minute History. And we do, just like it says, little short 1 minute history videos. But I'm excited about the future and just how I will teach the next generation about this president, about his presidencies, and about this, like, it can only be really like described as like a child having a fit, right? It's almost like he is so mad about having lost the election in 2020 and going after people and trying to undo and erase what he did. It's like a child just, you know, having a tantrum about, oh, I lost and I'm going to be mad and I'm going to do all this and stop everything that you believe in and it's ridiculous. So I'm going to clown on this motherfucker for a long time, and I'm looking forward to that. Holy shit, let me tell you. I know we ended up talking a little bit more about politics than I really wanted to. That's not the point here, right? My intention is to bring people together, to get people excited about spending time outside, outdoors, and waking up beneath the stars and what that can do for you and your family and just an individual, right? Disconnecting from the world and connecting with nature. A good friend of mine has said that, don't bother with things you can't control and change because it's just going to frustrate you. And, he's right. He's right about that. But at the same time, I am a person who believes in the power of a voice. And my voice is not very loud, right? But at the same time, what I'm creating here, I want to be able to share with my kids someday, so they can look back and say, oh, what was Dad doing? And I want them to know that I didn't have my head in the sand, I wasn't just letting things happen. And again, someone might say, well, talking about it's not going to change anything. Well, maybe not individually, but as time grows, right? Maybe there's power in just sharing those feelings and those emotions about things that can start a movement in and of itself, right? My intention here is to try to share my passion for being outside and doing things outdoors and finding ways to do that with the family element now, and how am I going to do it responsibly. And part of that is, right, with an electric vehicle and being mindful about the environment. So when I see environmental programs being slashed or just haphazardly thrown to the wayside, it's frustrating, right? It's just upsetting. So I hope you'll forgive me a little bit for maybe taking a little bit of a divergence, but I'm super excited about everything that's going on. Really love taking the time to get everything together here and share this with you. My kids are having fun with it. I'm having fun with it. My wife's having fun with it. So I just want to say thank you for joining me. And I do hope that someday soon you will get a chance to get outside, get outdoors, and wake up beneath the stars. So until next time, have a good one.
Oh, it's only
Campfire Wisdom is brought to you from the hills of Rancho Cucamonga. We'd like to thank the men and women that protect our national parks and forests. You make this journey possible. Theme music by Sean Cromwell.